Reginald, Matthew, Michael, Wesley, Adamantium, Green, Werner, Lochner, Gray. Go ahead.
Reginald, Matthew, Michael, Wellesley, and immensely Gray. I'm Katie Uhlmann reporting for Katie Chats at SMITHEE TV in downtown Toronto. I'm here with Director Matthew Lochner, otherwise known as...
Yes, I was Matthew Lochner on Reelside, which is what people would recognize me from. But my name is now, I gotta use my hands, Reginald, Matthew, Michael, Wesley, Adamantium, Green, Werner, Lochner, Gray.
Wow. Okay, so tell me why you decided to change your name. And then we'll talk about Reelside, I promise.
My girlfriend and I were planning to get married, and we thought, hey, let's just pick a new last name for our new family. And then I thought, I'm going to go one step further because no one gets to pick their names. So I was like, I'm a 30-year-old man. I want to pick my name, and I want it to be Reginald. So I'm now Reginald. And the middle names, I just want to have some fun. My middle name is actually the metal that Wolverine's skeleton's made from. Okay. That's how big of a geek I am.
Wow, I love it. Good for you. Congratulations. You got to think outside the box sometimes. Okay, so Reelside, which is the real reason we're here. What drew you to this project? I know Richard Krause is behind it as well, but you know, what made you passionate about telling stories about Canadian storytellers?
It's really been the evolution of my career, which is the funny thing. I worked with Fifth Ground Entertainment, who is the production company of the show. I've worked with them since 2006, going back to Renegold. I was just an intern. So then when Reelside started, I was like, whoa, this is non-union. I can kind of get my teeth into this. The first episode, I was just like cameraman, utility guy. Next episode, I got to do a little bit of editing. Third episode, I got to edit it. And then the fourth episode, I got to direct it. And then the next episode, I got to shoot it. And then the next episode, I got to direct again and edit that one as well. So it's really been the evolution of my career, and it's tough being a non-union filmmaker to be able to get that chance. And I put in a lot of time with Fifth Ground, and I'm so grateful to you guys, Chris Zarka and Raj Paniker, that they gave me the opportunity to direct these episodes. And really, I had no experience other than that they saw me grow since 2006. But any other producer wouldn't have given me the shot, I'm sure.
Well, congratulations. I'm sure you deserved it. So tell me a little bit about you were involved in the project all the way along, and it interviews, the subjects are all very interesting people in Canadian film and TV. So tell me a little bit about things that you learned along the way, if there were particular things that really stood out for you that maybe took you by surprise.
Yeah, the whole series, the thing I love about the series, and a lot of the reviews are saying the same thing, that it's so hardcore Canadian, but we never come out and say, this person's Canadian. Like we did George Romero, but at no point did we say, George Romero now lives in Toronto as a Canadian citizen. It was just like, yes, this guy's Canadian, now push that aside and let's make a cool documentary, right? And it felt like that the whole time. And it's funny because I now read these reviews and I go, whoa, I was there for this whole series, but we never talked about that. We were never like, let's touch on being Canadian, let's not touch on being Canadian. It just sort of happened. And that's one thing that I learned through this, is that Canadians are so incredible, and the things that we make are so incredible, and that, quote, Canadian is not a genre, which is a big Richard Krause quote. Yeah. It's so true. Canadian isn't a genre. It's like we have these amazing filmmakers, amazing artists. It doesn't matter where we come from. We make cool shit, and part of that is that we're Canadian. Yeah. And where I really learned it was the 5th episode, Matthew Hannum's episode with Bruce McDonald and Don McKellar. We went on a road trip up to Sudbury, the Big Nickel, with Don McKellar and Bruce McDonald. Like, I had Canadian film shoved down my throat while I was at school, and I kind of glazed over just because the way they taught it to me, like I just wasn't interested. Yeah. But being in an RV, I get goosebumps. Being in an RV with those guys who were in my textbooks, talking about the films they made, and like that same idea of being like, why not shoot Canada? Why not put Canada on the map? Oh, like goosebumps. I have butterflies just talking about it. It was the most incredible experience. So humbling, and I kind of got it. I still don't get what I got, but I got it. I kind of got the grip on like Canadian media. Were
there any common threads between the different subjects? Any patterns that you noticed? I mean, probably a passion for the country and stuff, but just in terms of the individuals.
Yeah, great question. Honestly, no. And that's what I love about Reelside. There's no thread throughout. it's really great that each episode is standalone. Each episode is its own group of subjects, and none of them have anything to do with each other. Like, there are little things like, oh no, I guess that's within the science fiction episode too. I was going to try to tie like something between the two, but no, there really isn't. Like, there's so, even the way that the films are made, the episodes are made, they're so unique and completely different from the next.
So for someone who hasn't seen the series yet, how would you describe it? If you said, you know, what is it about, and could you explain a little bit of the journey, how the journey works in each episode, what the format is?
Yeah, absolutely. The easiest way to put it, like the elevator pitch I always say, is it's filmmakers making films with and about filmmakers. That's like the easy part of it. The rest of it is just like, you know, your typical 3-act structure. It's like Matt Hannum wants to get in a RV and drive with Bruce and Dawn, and then like comedy ensues. I go on this journey in my episode about superheroes of being like, I need to create a superhero. And then I'm sent on the hero's journey of like figuring out how in the hell to make a superhero. And it's the same in each episode. And with George Romero, it's like, hey, George, why don't we recreate your first film that you ever made that was lost through the annals of time? And we did that. So they all follow a pretty like tight 3-act structure of this is going to happen, let's get there, and the last act is getting there and realizing something, which is just good storytelling.
And to me, it's interesting because you have a range in subjects, even in age. So George Romero is, I'm not sure how old he is, but
I think he's over 80 now. I think, yeah.
And then you have, you know, Sarah Gadon and Caitlin Cronenberg, who are in their 20s. So can you speak a little bit to choosing the subjects, because they must have very different perspectives? Yeah,
it really just came down to, we wanted it to be intimate. These are filmmakers making films with and about filmmakers, but we wanted to make sure there was comfort there. There was intimacy and like a little bit of love. So with the George Romero episode, it was an actor that he worked with for a long time. And what was really cool about that with Philip Riccio was that Philip Riccio wasn't a zombie fan. He didn't know who George Romero was until he was in George Romero's film, which gave them like this neat non-fanboy relationship, which people kind of expect with George Romero. You would expect somebody who's like, oh my god, I love zombies, let's make a zombie film. No, it was the opposite. It was like, George, you're a really great like analog filmmaker. The idea is that we shoot his short on film. And Philip had this chance to make film with a real filmmaker. And then with Caitlin and Sarah, like, they're such good friends that there is such a clear bond and intimacy in their episode. Same with Matt and Bruce and Dawn. They work together constantly. They're really good friends. And in my episode, it was Stephen Amell, who I know going back to 2006 with Raj and Zark. Like, it came down to me being able to do an episode, and it was like, who's the most famous person I know? Stephen Amell's on Arrow now. Oh my god. And he used to be like my like next door-ish neighbor. And like I helped him on his wedding and stuff like that. And like I knew him just at like this showcase show. And now he's like in the upper echelon of stars. And it was like, holy shit, Stephen, will you do me the biggest favor in the world? So it was that kind of thing where we asked people we knew. Right. None of these celebrities were people that the filmmaker didn't intimately know, which I think really added to the series.
Absolutely. And where is the best place for us to watch the series?
TMN has it currently on the rotation, and you can check it out on TMN Go if you have TMN at home. I don't quite know how it works because, just like you, I don't have television, so I don't know. But the cool thing is we were shooting this series for so long that multiple broadcasters own it. So Movie Central will be showing it, and so will HBO Canada. And we're currently working on getting it to the States because there's a lot of Arrow fans out there that want to see it as well. So we're working on that too.
Great. Well, thank you so much, and congratulations.
Thank you so much. It was such a blast, and thank you for having me.
Thank you, and I love your new name.
Reginald.
Yes. I'm Katie Uhlmann reporting for Katie Chats in downtown Toronto. Thanks for watching the show. If you like it, please subscribe. Also, when I'm not interviewing, I am an actress. And if you would like to check out some of my acting, you can click here. Thanks again, guys.